Thank you to FlexiSpot for sponsoring today's video. It's been proven that sitting for large amounts of time is very unhealthy. With online schooling, art, playing games, and doing homework, I have to constantly sit down on my desk for more than 10 hours a day. That's not healthy, and I get constantly tired over having to be at my desk for the entire day. Although with FlexiSpot's desk, you're able to change all that. You can change the elevation in your desk to make it so you don't have to sit down while working. And when you're done with it, you can always bring it back down in case you're tired of standing up. With their 4 keybinds, you can also preset it to any elevation you want, so you don't have to constantly fidget around to see which one's a perfect match for you. It also has a drawer so you can store any art supplies you have or anything. It also comes with 2 USB ports and a C port in case you need to charge your device. And this thing can go really high. Here's a comparison with my chair from its lowest setting to its highest setting. If you want to check out more of FlexiSpot's desk, check out the link in my description below. Hey, what's up? It's me, your favorite artist you're obviously subscribed to, and welcome to the how to draw hair tutorial. Well, you may be thinking to yourself, but didn't you already show us? And no, I didn't. I showed you how to color hair, which is completely different. Now, I didn't have like the confidence to teach you guys how to draw stuff because I feel like my art style, like in terms of drawing, is kind of, you know, underdeveloped. So I like to make more coloring tutorials than drawing tutorials. But today I'm going to show you how to draw hair, and I'm going to try to do my best at it. So just remember to subscribe if you like this video, and let's get to it. Now, the first thing you want to learn before doing any hair stuff is mastering your line work. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, as you can tell, that hair isn't only straight. It's not straight. It's not like that. It's curvy and wavy and all of the above. So what you want to really practice on is being able to draw long, clean strokes that are curvy. Now, why is that? Well, a lot of beginners tend to do this one thing where they sketch out their lines like this, and I'm going to show you why that is bad. When you do these types of lines, your hair ends up looking clunky and not really having any flow to it. So it can look really, really ugly and have no pleasing visuals. It's not visually pleasing. It just looks super ugly. So yeah, don't do that. What you want to do instead is be able to draw long, clean strokes like this. Now let me show you what difference it makes. So as you can see, just doing long, clean strokes really makes it look more clean and more like you can actually tell what's going on. And it looks more like it has more flow to it. It doesn't look clunky at all. So once again, you want to practice being able to make long, clean strokes with precision. So you got to be able to control your lines. Where's my pencil tool? Where the f is my pencil tool? Oh, here it is. So you really want to practice being able to like control like your lines and being able to make long, clean S's and C's, because this will allow you to make much more nicer hair. So yeah. Number 2 is to group the hair into sections and make sure you don't draw them in strands. Now what I mean by this is that beginners also tend to do this thing where they draw the hair in strands thinking it'll look more realistic. And in reality, this just makes it look much more uglier. So yeah, of course you don't want to do that. You want to be sure you're grouping the hair into like sections. So like as you see, what I've been doing is I haven't been drawing the hair into strands. I've been drawing them into sections like these. So like this, that shape, yeah. You just want to make sure you're not coloring them either or drawing them into strands, because this just makes it look much more messy and ugly, and you just don't want that in your drawing. So always make sure that you are drawing them in sections like this. They could be thin or thick sections, it doesn't matter. As long as they're not full on strands, it doesn't matter. So they could be as thin as, yeah, they could be as detailed as you want. So like super thin like these, or they could be super thick like that. Just make sure you're not drawing them into strands. One thing you also want to make sure that you're not doing is drawing the hair right on top of the head. This can cause the hair to look super flat and kind of really ugly. And it'll make your character look like they have a really small head. And that kind of sucks. So as you can see, this is me drawing on top of the actual head. What you want to do is you want to leave a little bit of space in between the head and the hair. And this is going to make your hair look much more poofy, much more volumetric, and it's going to make your hair and your head not look flat. And that is very important when drawing a character. You don't want them to look like they have a flat head, because that's just sad. Number 3 is to remember that the head is a sphere, not a circle. Now what is the difference? A circle is a 2D plane, while a sphere has depth to it. Now why does this matter in terms of hair? Well, when you're drawing bangs or hair strands, you gotta think about the direction of the sphere. So I'm gonna do an example right here. When I'm drawing bangs, I'm gonna draw some ugly ass bangs just to practice. So as you can see, these are bangs, and then when I come to draw the side hair is going to follow the movement of the head. So then this way, you're kind of like giving the head some like depth to it, because it's not just straight. If I were to draw it straight, it would look like this. As you can see, this doesn't really give any like depth to the head. This one gives more of like a curve to the head, while this one's just kind of straight, you know? So you always got to remember to follow the direction of the head. Number 4, the hair originates from a point or a line. As in terms of real humans, you always notice that someone has a bald spot or like a split hair line. And that is because the hair is always originating from that line or bald spot. Now, we can take this into account by giving our art or our person a hair source. So as you can see, I'm going to draw mine right there. So they're going to have a side split or side bang or whatever the hell it's called. I don't remember what it's called. And if we take this to account, then we can draw we can draw much more cleaner hair, because as you can see, now all of it comes from this source point. Now I'm going to show you what happens when you don't like have a source point, and I'm going to bring up one of my old characters. Well, I'm not going to show him, but I'm just going to talk about him. So I used to have this old OC that used to have hair that looked like this. So that looks fine, doesn't it? Well, his bangs used to look like this. Now, why doesn't this look correct? Well, it's because this character very obviously has 2 hair source points for some reason. And that used to be my old character, his old hairstyle. Now, this is just like kind of disorienting, because it clearly looks like the hair is coming from here, but it's also coming from here, which is just kind of weird. And in terms of shading, this is also going to look weird, but I'm not going to show that right now. But yeah, you always want to make sure that you have one source line or source point, or else your hair is just kind of going to look disorienting. As you can see here too, if I clearly don't have like an indicator of where the source point is, then my hair is just going to look really wacky and really ugly and really weird. As you can see, that just looks very messy, like he just had a bad hair day, and that's obviously not what you want. So yeah, always have a source line or source point. Number 5, don't start your lines from the end of the hair. Now, why is this? Well, before we cover that, we got to talk about one thing, and that's line thickness. Now, generally, if you have like pen pressure and you're not using a mouse, you have this thing called line pressure, and it makes your lines go from thick to thin. You could kind of do it the other way around, I guess, but you can't really do that. It's kind of hard. Anyways, we can use this to our advantage to show, like, to give like thickness to our hair. Now, generally in hair, your hair like groups up a lot, and then at the ends it kind of like dissociates with each other. So it's gonna look thinner at the ends than it is at like where it groups up. And so we could take advantage of this. So when we're drawing like hair like bangs or something, our lines are gonna go from thick to thin. Because if I do it the other way around, then it's gonna look weird. It's gonna look, doesn't that kind of look weird? It's like thick to thin, but then at the end it's also thick, and then up here it's thin. It's kind of weird. Here's the same with the bangs. Here's from thick to thin, and then here's from thin to thick. It just kind of looks off, you know? So when you're drawing hair, you always want to make sure that the tip of the hair is thin while the starting position of your line is thick, or else it'll generally look really weird. So as you can see here too, where the hair starts, it's really thick, but where it ends off, it's thin. So it looks like a group of hair, and then it looks like just a few hair strands, and it makes it look more dynamic. And yeah. And lastly, this is more about hairstyles. It's to separate the group, or to separate the hair into 3 sections. Number 1, the front hair or the bangs. Front. And then you're gonna want the side hair and then the back hair. Very original names. So the front hair or the bangs, it's gonna be stuff like this. I don't know. I lost creative hair knowledge at this point. So those are my bangs. Now my side hair is going to be stuff that's like covering the sides of my character. So like stuff like this. And then the back hair is going to be... Oh, I used the wrong color. These are my bang. That's my bang color. These are my bangs. And then my back hair is going to be stuff like this. So the reason why this makes hairstyles easier is that now you can like interchange what you want about the hair. So let's say I don't like a section of this hair, and a section I don't like about this hair is the back hair. Well, if I erase all the back hair, I can easily make changes to my hairstyle. So let me take this off of that. Let me fix my side hair because I don't like the way it looks right now. So let's say I want my back to be shorter than it originally was. So I can do this. As you can clearly see, I was able to change my back hair, and the hair looks still like very natural looking hair. Let's say I don't really like my bangs. So we could do bangs like this. So as you can see, it's separating the hair into 3 sections really makes it easier to interchange and stuff. And then of course, there's just accessories, just like ponytails or pigtails. But that's not part of the hair layers. So yeah, it's easier to separate your hair into 3 sections. You don't have to, but like it's just easier to make hairstyles if you have that in mind. So yeah, now that we got all the tips out of the way, I'm going to show you my process of drawing hair. So let's come up with the hair style. So I have my bang color, my side hair color, and my back hair color. Oh, and before we do all this, I gotta have a source point. So I'm gonna make it right there. All right, now I can go ahead and draw. So those are my bangs. Now my side hairs aren't really gonna be that special. Let's see. We could do something along the lines of this. And for the back of our hair, let's see. I'll do something pretty straightforward. We're just gonna do something like this. We're gonna do this kind of shape just because it looks funny. So now that I have my back hair, my side hair, and my front hair, let's draw it. Now, remember to always practice your lines. Make sure they're nice and smooth, that they're following your hair is following the curvature of the head. And let's start outlining. Alright, I really didn't like the way the back hair looked, so oh shit. Alright, so as an example, I'm just gonna erase the back hair that I didn't like. And of course, I can always create a new back hair. And I think I'm just gonna go for something like this. Alright, so I didn't really like my side hair or my back hair because I don't think it fits. So as you can see, separating the hair into sections really makes this easier as I can change them very easily. So let's see. What am I gonna... So let's see, what else could I do? I could... I'm gonna do something like this. I'm gonna give her more curly hair on the back and the side hairs. So let's see how this goes. And as you can see, just like that, we were able to give this good lady a good set of hair. And as you can see, if you remember those tips, it's super easy to create some creative, very flowy, volumetric looking hair. And hair shouldn't be that hard for you anymore. Well, you need a little practice to, learn something right away. But just remember, if this tutorial doesn't seem like it's working for you, but you still liked it, then just keep practicing. It's obviously going to take more than a tutorial to fully master something, so be patient and just don't give up. And if you just remember those simple tips and you practice your line work and you just practice making clean lines, then in no time you'll be able to draw hair probably better than this. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you want to learn how to color hair, I also have a video on that. So just check out my channel and you'll probably find it. So thank you guys so much, and I'll see you next time.